What's going on, y'all? Today's film study, we're going to be looking at Jalen Brunson and how he finishes in space. So last week, we looked at him getting all the way to the rim and to the backboard. Today, we're going to talk about some different concepts that help him be efficient, even when he can't get all the way downhill to the rim or to the backboard. So the first couple are going to be his 2-foot floater. And I'm going to play a couple so we can watch. One thing you'll notice is that he has good pace. So he's not the quickest, most explosive guard, but he does change speed really well. But when getting the 2 feet, he does this a couple different ways. So I'm going to part this one. And one of the ways that is pretty unique to athletes in general is finding it almost off a speed stop to where he attacks. He takes this one dribble, and then instead of gathering onto like a jump stop or a staggered drop, he'll only take one more step as he gets into that 2-foot floater. So right there, you see it, just that second step. Right here, again, dribbles on that right foot, takes one more step, and then floats it up. And what that does is it throws off the defender's timing, not really allowing them to really load and gather to try and contest. So if we rewind this, because this is against a primary defender. So if we rewind that just a little bit, you'll notice that on this one dribble, this defender is still engaged. The hand's still connected. He's still moving. And typically, players take 2 steps together, or they take a hop, like a jump stop together, which allows defenders to kind of load up with their arms, with their feet, with their hips to be able to try and jump and time up this shot. But now, because he's going up right away, look how his arm is still down. Okay, again, everything is still down. He's not really able to load to jump and contest. Jalen does a nice job of not only getting his base set on one step, he establishes a wide base and gets his ball out quick before a bigger, taller, longer defender is able to get their hand up to contest. And again, you'll notice that he wasn't able to jump because this timing is so unique of finding a floater off of that one step. So we'll watch a few more. And as we go, just pay attention to how he goes off that one step. You'll also notice there's a couple later on where he gets into that staggered 1-2 drop. That's a little bit more common, but right there. So let's rewind that. But because he gets grounded so quick, defensively, they're still unable to really load up and time it up. So here, again, instead of just taking one step into his floater, 1-2, like you'll notice that left-right that he takes and gets that shot up. And again, this defender behind him tried to contest a little bit, but the defender in front of him wasn't able to time it up because of how quickly he got grounded. Again, let's watch. So he attacks his midline. And right from here, you'll notice that quick left-right, quick 1-2. I call it a staggered drop. Boom, right, left, right, up. Again, just super, super quick, connected to the ground, whether he takes that one step or that staggered drop into that 1-2. 1-2. Again, defensively, we're still moving, sliding our feet. We're tall and extended. We're not loaded, able to jump and block. This defender rotates down, kind of is in position to contest, but more so at the rim, which is why Jalen's able to get this shot up in this space right here. Boom. Next, we're going to look at Jalen's ability to finish both with and after contact. So not only does he do a nice job getting into space and finishing quick, he does a really nice job utilizing his body to create space or to maintain space. So right here, you'll see him kind of cut his defender off. Look at all this space right here defensively. If any of them overcommit, you got shooter in the left corner. You got someone kind of diving from that dunker position. You got shooter on that backside wing, that break area. So defensively, it's tough to really collapse on him when he's holding this space right here. And then he just releases forward over an outstretched big. Again, because he gets it up so quick, he doesn't rely on his athleticism, but rather his quickness and his touch to get his feet grounded and get that ball up soft. Let's watch the next one here. Boom, you'll already notice this angle that he's taking. Again, looking to close off himself to his defender, go into that space, because now once he closes this space off, he has all of this space to operate. A lot of players will just attack straight line directly into this space rather than jamming their man to be able to hold that space and kind of read and react to what happens. Because again, defensively, they all have other assignments that if they overcommit, they're giving up a wide open shot, dunk opportunity, layup, bump, and then right from that bump, he goes up and finishes. So that time he didn't hold his man as much. Let's look at it again. He just kind of cut his man off, used that bump, and then fell into that open space. Now here you're going to see a different type of contact. This is like a bump euro where he kind of sheds his man, gets him going in the same direction that he's already moving, just with that little bit of a nudge, and allows him to kind of step into new space, settle into that space, and identify whether or not shot is there, pass is there, and kind of read and react in that space. So again, let's run that back. Gets his defender running with him. He's in a cross step. All his momentum is going this way. So all it takes is a little nudge to kind of be able to shed that contact and get into space. And again, look at this defender. He fell all the way through. So now by the time he plants, gathers, recovers, Jalen is already up. The ball is already over his shoulder level. And there's no chance that if he gets this up quick, that this defender is going to be able to contest or block that shot. Look at another one here. Boom, big bump. Defender's momentum is going this way, allowing him to slide over. And this time, Jalen really decelerated because he recognizes space, also recognizes defender went in front of him. So now he decelerates to stay straight up and down into that wide open space. Boom, another bump. And again, look at all that space that opened up. Not because Jalen is, over aggressive and pushing and displacing, but because he's utilizing that defender's momentum against him. Boom, right here. Again, he's going to be in a cross step. So the moment he goes in a cross step, it's going to be even easier to give that nudge and let him keep running through. Boom. Almost fell into his defender right here. And again, decelerates, goes up, maintains the open space. All right, now, again, we've talked about the decel finishes the last couple. These are some more examples of how he decelerates. So rather than focusing on just the bump, because there he really didn't deliver that bump to push him through, he was able to get downhill a little bit. And immediately when the defender is beat, they look to cross step and try and get back in front, because we're just kind of taught protect the rim, protect the rim, protect the rim. He lunges forward. Jalen goes straight up and down. So right here, it looks like it's contested until it's not. Because again, his momentum is going forward, trying to beat him back to the rim. We recognize that. Jalen recognizes that and decelerates, goes straight up and down, which creates all this natural separation. Let's play that back again without pausing it. Decelerate, go straight up. Boom. Again, look at the cross step. Okay, this defender right here in that cross step, his momentum is going to keep going this way while Jalen just rises straight up, gets the ball up quick. But even if he didn't, this defender still had no chance to be able to load up, get his arms back, get his hips down, to be able to jump up to contest. Boom, defenders kind of playing good defense, didn't get caught up in that sweep up action that we talked about last week, is able to kind of get in front, but again, kind of programmed to protect the rim, protect the rim, protect the rim. So decelerating is going to allow him to create just enough space to rise up into and shoot this little hanger, that little runner, soft touch. So this is a great example. Look at the full head of steam, starting all the way up here by the logo. Like there's no defender that's going to be able to stay connected to a hip, stay with you going full speed, and then be able to stop on a dime and not let the momentum flow through. Okay, he gets stuck down, not able to contest. Let's rewind that a little bit more just so you can see. Look how he's stuck. This defender is stuck to the ground because he's trying to stop as aggressively as Jalen is, but since defensively we're in a reactionary state, we're always going to be late in this reaction. So now he's stuck to the ground, he's up, and he has to make a decision. Okay, maybe I jump and try and contest, but now it might be a foul call. So he's just kind of stuck on the ground, giving up now what looks like a wide open shot, when if you were watching it before, you probably didn't realize how wide open that shot was. Again, just decelerates. Defender does a nice job getting back in front. But look, the defender's facing this way. So he's contesting almost behind him, has his body's going forward because Jalen stops so abruptly to get straight up in the air. Again, let's watch it again, but really focus on the defender, how that defender is just falling away. Like he had no chance. It looks like a contest until his momentum kept carrying him through. And that's a lot of space. I don't care what league you're in, that's a lot of space to operate. A couple more here where he's just decelerating. Just going straight up and down, watching the defender fly by. And now we're going to get into his one-step runners. So again, we talked about in the first few clips with him getting off of that one-step 2-foot floater, again, throwing off timing. Same thing off of 1 foot, when now it's going to be just a one-step, 1-foot runners, same concept. Defenders have less time to load and to contest. So a lot of these are going to be him either jumping off his left foot, finishing with his left hand, or him jumping off of his right foot, finishing with his left hand. But it's always off 1 step. Watch a couple here. 1 step. Defenders are behind him. This defender's rotating, but he's in the middle of that rotation where if Jalen takes a 2nd step, he has time to load, arms back, hips down, jump up, try and maintain some verticality. But instead, because we go off 1 step, he doesn't have time to finish his load and even get a contest up. And watch this one back as well. Because again, there's a primary defender in front of him. So it doesn't feel like this shot should necessarily be open. Right? Defensively, we're in a decent position here. We attack, and he's worried about what? Protecting the rim, protecting the rim, protecting the rim. So he's not prepared to jump on this 1 step. You see how his arms are starting to go back? He's getting ready to load for his next step, but because Jalen goes off of that 1 step, that contest becomes late. Look at how he's in this cross step. Look at his feet here. Again, prepared to meet Jalen here. That's what defenders do. They look to meet at the rim or try and beat their man to the rim, which is going to give up these 1-step finishes. 1 step up. Yeah, let's look at this. Look what happens. Let's kind of visualize what would happen if he took a 2nd step. Boom. Rotating down. Starting his load. He takes 1 more step here. He doesn't get the shot up because look how much space there was between the hand and the ball. There was almost no space. So again, if Jalen takes a 2nd step, all that space is gone. So that 1-step finish allowed him to get this ball up. Again, not super athletic, not elevating above the rim, just utilizing his timing, being able to disrupt defenders, shot blocking tendencies, getting the ball up quick and soft. 1 step up. Again, defensively, just stuck in a reactionary state, having to react late, 1 stepping up. Same thing, you see it over and over and over again. Even when he attacks to the right, again, I think I talked about it last week where he finds ways to get the ball back to his dominant hand. And I teach this a lot, that if you can shoot the ball in space with your dominant hand, you don't want to be programmed to use the opposite hand just because you're going in that direction. So he's going right here. Okay, so he's going right here. And a lot of players, especially at the youth level, are taught you go right, you use your right hand. You go left, you use your left hand. But he's going into a touch finish in all this open space. So it makes the most sense to be able to get that ball up with your dominant hand. And again, if he takes 2 steps, it gives this defender more time, and it gives this defender more time to completely rotate. So getting into 1 step doesn't allow them to get their full load or their full contest on that touch finish. 1 step again, a little nudge there, a little bump. Okay, so now we're going to start getting into the last component, which is how good he is both with his pace and his eyes. You'll see defensively, you won't always be able to see him and his eyes, but you'll see how defensively they react to these eye fakes, to these pass fakes, keeping them away, keeping them worried about their responsibilities, while Jalen just kind of takes his time, finds his space, and operates. So right there, eyes were here the entire time, forcing this defender to continue dropping back, completely worried about the roll man, completely giving up the front of the rim. So again, let's watch that one again. Eyes, and you see defensively how he's reacting to those eyes. Same thing here. This time he actually made a pass fake, so you see a man here kind of in that dunker spot. Defender here in good position to protect the rim, but immediately has to respect that pass on that pass fake with those eyes stepping down, allowing Jalen to get into this open space here, which we know is such a high percentage shot for him. Again, just watch the big. Just watch the big here. Just constantly worried about this. Constantly worried about this because as he attacks, his eyes are scanning. He's working with his eyes, with his pace, with his body. Okay, just not looking to get to one spot, but making sure that he's going through his checks, forcing the defenders to go through their checks. And then just taking advantage of space when it's there. Another pass fake right there. Okay, so those are the pass fakes. One thing that Jalen is known for is his ability to play off 2 feet. All the pivot work that he's able to do. And honestly, going into this film study, I thought he did it way more than anything else, which is the reason I kind of saved it for the end, because it's actually not an action that I see nearly as much as I thought. We see a ton of these highlights, and he is very good at it, but he finds a much higher volume of shots off of some of the other concepts that we've already covered, including his 2 foot floater, especially off 1 step, his 1 step finishes, both scooping and finishing over the top, decelerating, all those things. But one of his signatures does tend to be the pivot. So let's look at them. So sometimes he gives up his dribble and realizes defensively they kind of did a nice job taking away the first option. So he doesn't force. He's very patient and he's very comfortable, even with all these defenders around him, just pivoting and looking for an opportunity. You'll also notice how good he is at bumping to create space. So after the pickup, not just bumping on the dribble or on the pickup, but after the pickup, he bumps to create new space for him to step into. So right there, he bumps. Defender has to kind of back up a little bit, giving him enough space to get that shot up. There's some better examples. Boom, bump, little fake there. We talked about those pass fakes. Goes in another fake here. Gets his defender to lift. Again, just patient. Is able to step into this new space that he created off those pivots. Contact. A little show again. Again, stepping through into space. And right here, I think is a good example of how he just bumps. Look at that bump right here that he delivered. Bumped, allowing him this space to step back forward again. Let's watch that one more time. Again, not just being patient, but being physical in these pivots, utilizing his fakes. Boom. Steps out. And again, bumps this defender back away from the basket, giving him a lane to the basket. Bump in, step forward. So again, those are some concepts on how Jalen Brunson is able to be so efficient, so effective in space. As good as he is at getting all the way to the rim, all the way to the backboard, he's also really good at taking advantage of space here, utilizing, quick finishes, whether it's off one step, 2 feet, one step, 1 foot, even a quick staggered drop. Also utilizing his decel just to create space with defenders' momentum. That doesn't necessarily look like it's there, but then it opens up because, again, he goes straight up as his defender runs through. Again, a really good play to look at because he's undersized. He's not super athletic. All of us can utilize some of these concepts to make our game more efficient.